Hi guys, Chris here at Purely Outdoors, and I've got a brand new awning on review for you today. This is Dometic's Rally AIR Stay. So the Rally model has been such a well-loved awning for the last decade, especially in the Air version that we see here. And what we see for this 2026 season is a brand new fabric. So this is the Weather Shield Stay fabric. And I'll break down the full exterior and interior features, but I think the most important one to start with is the fabric. So we saw the Rally Tour model introduced by Dometic last year. That replaced their Pro model, which is all about touring. So shorter breaks across the UK and Europe. That Tour fabric is really designed for that. Whereas if you're someone that prefers to go for longer periods, sustained periods across sort of March and September, and you want a fabric that's a little bit harder wearing, that's going to be able to cope with all those conditions, especially more towards the winter months, then the Stay fabric's definitely one to check out. So let's break it down, what makes this fabric so unique and why it's such a sort of a new fabric that's really going to, in my opinion, take over the awning market. So it's a hybrid construction. So the basis of that is two parts. So the main body of the awning is poly cotton. So it's 280 gram poly cotton. So that's slightly less and less heavy than the old 310 gram fabric they use for the all season Rally. So it's sort of replaced that, making it a little bit more lightweight. The great thing is they've added ripstop to that. So it's actually strengthened the fabric while also reducing the weight. So really clever fabric there. That poly cotton, because it's natural, is going to allow all that condensation to escape as well. And when you actually pair that with the roof fabric, which is brand new for the awning industry, and it's polypropylene. So polypropylene, fantastic, very clever fabric that's actually hydrophobic. And what that means is water vapor that will be created within the awning, especially earlier and later on in the season, cannot sit on the roof fabric itself. So that's great. That's going to get rid of issues that some people have faced previously, where they'll feel like it's sometimes dripping off the roof. You won't get that with this fabric. It's also great that the flip side of it almost feels like PVC. So it's going to be great hard wearing fabric that's going to be really easy to maintain and keep clean. So that's the fabric cover, guys. I think you'll agree as well, it looks great in this sort of contemporary mid-grey colorway. It all blends in terms of like the valves on the air beams. Looks very sleek and very contemporary. So really nice addition there. So the Rally Stay, available in two sizes. This is the 330. They also do a smaller 260, and they both share a standard depth of 2.5 meters. So that's the range sort of broken down, guys. What we'll go on to now is the inflation system. So as with all the Dometic awnings, we see they're great patented single point inflation awning system. So all the air beams are integrated. The awning itself will come with a manual pump. You simply insert that, pump it up to 9 PSI, and because all of the beams are integrated, it's going to go up really nice and fast. When we want to come to deflate it, you'll notice each of the three legs have a deflation tap. You simply open those and all the air comes out. So a really simple, quick and easy way to get set up on site. Okay guys, so some other key exterior features that you'll notice as we sort of move around the awning is how we can interchange the panels. So Dometic have really been masters at how you can customize an awning. So you'll note that we've zipped out this panel entirely. On here you can see how it would look if we had both in. So you've got lovely sort of floor to ceiling PVC windows, the curtains that we'll get onto a little bit further. And you'll note that the side panels are really nice and wide. So that means we again can zip them out entirely to give a sort of canopy type feel. We could add an annex or a conservatory to either side. And the other great thing is because there's so much mesh on the side panels as well, you're going to get loads of ventilation through the awning. So that's probably the main exterior features covered now, guys. We'll pop inside and talk through the interior ones. Okay guys, so before we go into the full interior features, I just want to mention some sort of characteristics of the Dometic awnings that are shown throughout the whole range that make them really unique. So the first would be the dual pitch roof. So you can see this double slant on the roof. So really important, especially in for those wetter months where you're going to get more rainfall, that's really going to allow that rainwater to feed off the roof really well. Second would be the multi-height system. So Dometic were the sort of pioneers in bringing an awning that's not only fit for the caravan market, but also for your sort of mid motorhome height as well. So they do that by using a dual K-door on all their connection beading. So you can slide that into a traditional 6mm caravan rail or into a 4mm wind out awning on a motorhome. So that's really clever. It's always just worth checking that you've got enough width on either the straight rail or your wind out awning to accommodate either this 330 model or the smaller 260 model. But what the sort of multi-height system allows is within this S height range, for this awning, it can fit any vehicles between 235 and 265 in height. So it's always worth just checking your measurements beforehand. But the way that that is enabled is basically via this zip here. So if we release that, you'll see that there's fabric sort of concertinaed up into that. So not only is that great for if you are on the taller height range, you can fully zip that out and it's going to give you more fabric to play with when you're pitching the awning. But also if you're on an uneven pitch where it's slightly sloped, you can release one side. That's going to give you more playability with the awning. So really two great features there, but now let's get straight onto the interior. So for me, one of the great updates to the new Dometic range, both in the Tour and in this Stay range, is the change of the curtains. So we see a much sleeker sort of slide mechanism on the curtains, and also a much more monochromatic feel to the curtains. So they look a lot more contemporary. You'll notice they're a really nice brushed cotton now that just blends really well into the awning fabric itself. This is sort of complemented with the rest of the awning. So you'll notice that the roof fabric almost blends straight into the air beams and also into these isolation taps. So again, it's just thinking of all those little details that makes this awning feel so premium. Okay, so let's talk about how we can customize the interior a little bit more. So you've got a couple of options. You can actually purchase a mesh panel set for the two front panels. So during the summer months when it gets a little hotter, if you want a bit more ventilation, but you want to keep those bugs out, you can purchase that mesh panel set. They simply zip in there. You can also purchase a carpet and footprint to go underneath. So the footprint's going to sort of prevent any moisture coming from the ground up, almost acts as like a thick tarp, and then you'd sit your continental carpet on top of that. Again, all made to measure, so it's going to look really smart on your awning. Now let's just really quickly cover how we can sort of customize it from a lighting perspective. So you might notice dotted around all the air beams, we've got these Velcro tabs. What they're designed for is the Dometic Sabre 150 lighting. So the sort of LED tubes, you can purchase the starter kit, which gives you all the plugs and one of the LED strips. From there, you can position that where you see fit, and then you can link up further add-ons to that, so you can make sure the awning's a really nice, well-lit space. Okay, so now let's talk about how we could sort of seal this to the van to make sure, especially for longer stays, you're going to prevent any draft coming in. So you might notice on the side we've got sort of pre-punched holes. So there's 4 on each side. That means the awning's limpet ready. So what we can do is purchase limpet suckers that basically will seal in place, won't damage your van in any way, but give you a really nice seal. You can also pair that with the upright poles, so you'll see some pockets up top here. They press against the foam pads and then sort of position against the ground there. So 2 ways we can seal it, which is again more important for those longer breaks. But hopefully guys, that summed up the interior of this awning. Okay guys, so in summary, the Dometic Rally Stay. Why is it right for you? Well, if you're the sort of person that wants those longer breaks away in the caravan or motorhome, and you want an awning that's going to match up to all those different conditions that you might face between March and October, this really is an awning for you. If you're thinking you may be more of a fair weather camper and you're actually going away for shorter breaks, but love the style of this awning, the classic rally styling and the standard depth of 2.5 meters, definitely check out the Rally Air Tour. That's again available in even more sizes, even more height ranges as well, so definitely check that video out. And if you're thinking actually you could do with more space, you love the fabric but you want a little bit more space, definitely check out our video on the Dometic Grande Stay. So if anything, that's the Rally Stay on steroids, so it's just that little bit deeper, a little bit wider. And if that's not big enough, definitely check out the Resident Stay. So that's their full air awning, so that's going to maximize your pitch space. That could be a model for you also. But hopefully guys, this has summed up the awning in total. But if you've got any questions at all, drop them in the comments below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest awning news. Thanks so much for watching.